to Let's Get Growing, and we're on pack 5. It's February and the days are getting a bit longer, the sun's shining. We're still in lockdown, but spring's on its way, so let's get growing. So I'm going to start by looking back on the things we did over the previous sessions and see how they're doing. So the spring onions are all doing well over here. The wildflower's doing really good. And the garlic's a little bit, it has been very cold, but it's very hardy, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. The strawberries are doing nice. They've got some new shoots under here coming up. And my stachys from the last pack, that's sort of started to put on a little bit of new growth. Again, very hardy. And then my parsley's doing well. This is the one I repotted last time. And that seems to have benefited from that. The onions, they're okay. I think one of the red onions has rotted, but they didn't look very great. So that's that one there, but the rest of them look okay. Okay, so the sweet peas haven't germinated yet. They've just been in a cool greenhouse. I think I'm just going to leave them in here rather than take them indoors, because I just don't want them to get too leggy. And I think they'll be okay. The broad beans I'm not that happy with. They're quite leggy and a little bit sort of frost damaged, some of them, even though they've been under the fleece. But I'm not going to worry too much about these. They have got a bit of new growth on them. But I think don't worry too much about the broad beans and peas, because we will, I think in the next pack I'm probably going to give you some more seeds so you can have another go. I think we've all had problems with them, so it's not anything to do with you and your growing. And quite excitingly, spring bulbs are coming up. So I think these are crocuses, and then there's other tips coming up here, so that's good. Okay, the peas, the problem peas. These have been inside on a cool windowsill, and I think I'm going to have an examination of some of these. These have just started to come up, so that's good, but I think some of these have rotted. So I'm going to take a tube out and I'm going to have a look at what's going on in here. And I can't see any sign of a seed in there. I think it's rotted. I'll have a look at another one. And that's much the same. So I think the ones that haven't come up, I'm going to give up on. And the ones that have come up, I'm going to put them into a bigger pot. These have got like deep roots. And if we look at the bottom of here, whoa! So they need deep pots, so I'm going to use, I think it's a rose pot with a nice deep. So I'm going to put compost in up to where my tube is. So I've got about half full, and I'm just going to put the whole thing in with the tube like that. And I'm going to do that with all the ones that come up. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one's starting to come up, so I'll put that one in as well. 6, I've got 6 in there. So just fill it up. They're all on the outskirts of the pot. A bit fiddly. Composting around them. Gonna put the label in, and then I've just got a few old canes, and I'm going to put these in as a wigwam. So I've attached them together at the top, a bit of string or a bit of wire. Too tall from the greenhouse. And push that into the pot like that. right down to the bottom. And then I'll probably tie some string around here and I'll give the peas something to roll up. So that's done, just needs some water. And then I think I'm just going to get rid of these because I'm pretty confident that they're all rotted. Just move them out of the way. Okay, so on to today's pack. So in your pack you should have a bag that says Charlotte potatoes. Okay, these are an early variety of potatoes. They are a salad potato, and in my opinion the best potatoes. I think they're delicious and they're usually quite easy to grow, and you normally get a good crop and they taste good. So what you need to do with these, we're going to do, potatoes have got their own kind of terminology, so there's a whole language around them. So what we're going to do today is something called chitting. So these are seed potatoes, so they're not just potatoes from the supermarket or the greengrocers, they've been bought in specially as a seed potato. So you just need an egg box and you've got 3 potatoes. So what we're looking for on the potatoes is we're looking for the eyes. So these are the eyes here, there's more here, but this side there's a lot more. And this is where the shoots are coming out here. So it's important to do this, especially with early potatoes, to get them growing. So these are going to go top side up with what way you can see. It's not always very clear, it's not that important. So we're going to put them 1, 2, 3, and I've written on here Shallots. And then I need to put these in a frost-free place, so they need some light but they don't want direct sunlight. So I think I'm probably going to put these in the loft because it doesn't want to be too warm, but it does need some, they do need some light. I wouldn't put them outside or in an unheated greenhouse because I think they'll probably get frosted. So we're going to leave these to grow some shoots probably for about another 10 weeks probably before they'll be ready for planting. So that's chitting potatoes, and I'm going to show you in the future how to grow them in bags or big pots. And then also in your pot you should have a shallot in a pot. So it might look like it's not doing very much, but hopefully if you look at the base of it you'll see there's a root system which develops before it starts to shoot. So shallots are different than these onion sets, in that these onion sets you put one small set in and that will form one big bulb of onion. So it's an allium as well, but this will grow, and when it grows it will form a cluster of shallots. So they won't grow a lot bigger, but you could end up with about 8 shallots. They will get bigger. But this one, if you've got ground, you could grow it in the ground. If you haven't got ground, you'll need to repot it. So I've got a bigger pot. So I'm going to fill it with compost. Again, I'm going to turn this gently. I'm not going to disturb it. I'm going to put it into my bigger pot. And these are pretty hardy, so you shouldn't worry too much. I'm burying it a bit too deep there. You want to have your top of your bulb just peeping out. You can see it there. I'm going to firm it down around it. I'm going to put a label in, because it's hard to distinguish between shallots and onions at this stage. That's it, just needs the water. And then finally you should have a little envelope with some sunflower seeds in. So these sunflower seeds I've bought in from a seed company, and what we're going to do with them is we're going to do sunflower microgreens. So these are very similar to what we did with the pea shoots. So we're going to grow them indoors on on a windowsill where it's not too warm but where they'll get some light. And so we're not growing them for the flower at this stage, it's a bit early for that. We're going to grow them for the little shoots, which are really delicious and apparently very nutritious, and I've never grown them for this before, so it'll be a bit of an experiment for me as well. And the reason why we're focusing on microgreens is that there isn't really a lot that you can sow outside and grow at the moment. That will be coming in the next few weeks, so we just have to be a bit patient. But in the meantime, we can have a go with these. So these are the seeds. So they're black sunflower seeds, and it's better if you soak these overnight because they've got a hard shell and it'll help them to germinate. So these have been soaked. I'm just going to drain them. There's a few gone in with the onion, I think. So I'm just going to use the same setup that I did for the pea shoots. So that's to stop water running all over the windowsill. And it's got some gravel for drainage, and then I'm going to plant that's got holes in it. It's going to sit inside it. So I just need a little bit of compost in the bottom of my tray. And then I'm just going to scatter, that's quite a lot of seeds, on the top. Press them down gently and put a little bit of compost to cover them. And a little press down. Put them in there. I've got a label, sunflower microgreens. So I'm going to give them a water, and then I'll probably put a plastic cover over them, and then put them the same as you did with the pea shoots, and hopefully in a week or two we'll start, well, in a few days we'll start to see some results with these. They'll start to sprout. So that's it for today. So if you've got any questions, you can put them on Facebook, or you want to share any of your photos or your growing experience, we'd like to see them. Okay, thanks. Bye.